Welcome to my channel. My name is Jenny, where I am looking for a community to help me out a little bit because I got into DIY gardening, and where I have learned a lot and succeeded and corrected a bunch of things, I still fail a lot, but I can never find somebody or videos, AI, or whatever the heck, Google, to help me find the answers that I need. So I'm hoping that maybe I can find a community that can point me into the right direction. Also, I would love to hear your funny stories or not so funny stories of what you have done, what you have learned, and how you fixed it. But first, I just became a murderer. I got my first body on me, and I'm kind of sad about it. So, I think on my probably my first two videos, I did mention that I had a little mice rat problem. Well, it was getting a little out of hand. It ate four of my broccoli heads. Like, I left one for bait, and it's growing back, which is kind of gross. So I think I'm about to just cut it off since I hope my problem is gone in an unfortunate way. So I did all the things. I did the cayenne pepper. I netted, I put nets around stuff like this, and some way or another, it just kept getting, I put nets, cages, everything. One way or another, it kept, it moved on to other plants. It started with my broccoli, then with my kale. Now it was hitting up my Brussels sprouts, and that's where I had to put my foot down and finally get a sticky trap. I started even with the little contraption where it can catch it. Well, it doesn't catch it because I didn't want to go that far. But you can put bait in it, and it eats the bait. It dries its mouth out. It looks for the water, and it drinks into it, just like. And I didn't even know that when I got the poison. I thought it was just like, I knew what would happen eventually, but I didn't know it was gonna be that bad. So literally, after I had put everything out, like I couldn't sleep. I was like, "What happens? What happens?" And I should have never looked it up, because then that's when I found out that they just. I literally had tears in my eyes and was like, "Oh my god, I'm so inhumane." Felt so bad, and the show had to go on. Well, I came to look at all my little traps, not a nibble. So I figured, and then I watched my cameras a lot, and I noticed it was still here. And it was just one. I'm sure it has a family somewhere. Oh my God. Okay, so then I put sticky traps on my edges. But that thing is smart. It started digging holes into my bed. So then I looked for the holes, covered them up, and it was like going around them. That thing, oh no, it's smart. They know what the hell they're doing. So then I noticed that it kept going to my Brussels sprouts, and it pissed me off all over again, and I didn't care anymore about what happened until now that I just thought what happened, and it's still back there. And I just feel inhumane for even recording this while it's just back there like this. And again, so I literally put it around all of my Brussels sprouts. And I was coming out here like, oh, let me go record my little intro video before it gets dark. And I was like, oh, and I'm not gonna find nothing. I was watching it last night go around. It didn't eat nothing because it couldn't. Like, I can tell that it knew that the sticky traps were there. And I was just like, let me just look. And I just saw a little furry thing in there. I called my husband, and I was like, come home right now. Come home right now. It's not even that I'm scared or disgusted. I just feel so bad. So he's on his way. And now we can continue to today's, I guess, second topic. Today, we're going to talk about seed starting because here in Texas, it is time, or it's been time, for a few crops. I've done tomatoes, pumpkins, onions. Onions, I started them since October, but I failed at every single one of them. So let's go ahead and head inside so we can take a look at what's going on.
Have this, I don't know what it's called, but it has like windows on top. And so I had all my seedlings right there, but it was like a mess and out in the open. So I decided to use this room once my plants are big and potted up, while I wait for them to be ready to go outside. So right now I am working on this. So today's video, I'll be recording myself finishing that. Okay, so rather than me actually doing like a 30-45 minute video, I'm gonna go ahead and explain to you all what I did. At the time that I did all of this, it was probably a month prior to now. Okay, seed starting mix. I've never purchased it because, like I said in my first video, I wanted to do this spending the least amount of money possible. So what I use, I don't buy a bag, I buy a brick, and you have to, it's compressed, you have to expand it with using water. So I mix that with vermiculite, a little bit of perlite, and worm castings, and then whenever I'm going to use it, I actually stick it in the oven. I preheat it to 350, and I stick it in the oven for about 10 to 15 minutes just to sterilize it. There's other ways you can use just straight boiling water or mix water and hydrogen peroxide, and that should be good enough. But for me personally, it doesn't work so well. It has nothing to do with the theory, it's a me problem. I forget to empty out the bottom watering trays all the time, so I always end up with the mold or the fungi with the white little fluffy stuff on top. So I find that for me, this works best. And I also tap in some vermiculite on top of the flats once I'm done seeding, once I'm done sowing the seeds and stuff. Okay, so after the 10 to 15 minutes, I fill up my seed starting trays, and then, or whatever container I'm using. You don't have to get seed starting trays. You can use a strawberry container, like the ones that come in the store. I've used cupcake trays. I used any pastry tray, to go box. I I just poke some holes on the bottom, and I use that. Save you some money, sis or bro. Anyways, right after you fill your seed starting trays with your seed mix, go ahead and take your thumb and press it in, not so hard to where it'll compact the soil, but just softly where it's going to go down, and then just fill it up and do it again. You want to make sure you don't leave any air gaps or anything, because your soil is going to dry out faster, your roots are going to suffer, less soil for your roots, weak plants, and so on. I fill that up, and then I set it on warm water, let it soak for about 2 hours, and then I take my dipper before, actually put it in reverse, Terry. Go ahead and make your labels. I made my labels like 2 days in advance because I have made the horrible mistake of trying to do it as I go, or telling myself, "Oh, I don't know what this is. I'll just go back and do it in the end." Yeah, yeah, that doesn't work. Don't do it. Just make sure you do your labels before you even think about filling them trays. Put your labels on your trays. Take your little dipper, the end of a pencil, pen, your finger, anything kind of thin where your seed will fit into, or you can just put the seed on top and press it in as deep as your seed packet tells you to sow it into the soil. Okay, so your labels, your dibber, your seeds. With my onions, I just put them on the surface, I press them in. And then for the pumpkins, depending on the size of the pumpkin, Big Macs, Connecticut, jack-o'-lanterns, I only put 1 per cell. Sugar pies, Jack B. Littles, anything smaller that takes the least amount of time to mature, I put 2 per cell. The little pointy side goes down. For the peppers, I'll put 2 per cell. Tomatoes, sometimes I'll get a little crazy for the peppers and tomatoes, and I'll put 1 in each corner, so it'll be 4 seeds per cell. And then I grab some more of the seed starting mix and I sprinkle it on top and I press that in. After I do that, I spray it with the hydrogen peroxide, and then I'll get vermiculite and tap that in on the top for some extra help for me and my issues where I always have mold growing on the top. But this time around, since I did it specifically this way that I'm explaining it to you, it worked out very well for me. So I hope this helps. If there's something else you guys can recommend to me, because at the end of the day, this is for you to help me and hopefully, and for me to learn along the way and be able to help somebody else. Help me, I help you, you help me, I help you. Scratch my back, I scratch your back. Don't do what I do, learn from me, and help me out. Like, share, and subscribe, guys. Talk to y'all later. I will keep you all updated. This has been fun. Bye. So I put my repotting stuff up here. Heating mats, germination, shelf. And I'm not gonna do nothing with these because I wanted to change this somewhere else and I couldn't even take it off. Them little sticky strips are strong, just in case. Those these. Okay, I wanted to change it because I have these and they have their own little lights. I could have used those, but it's okay. I'm probably gonna need them anyway.